Hi there, I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com, and this is my Smart American Accent Training. In this video, we'll look at the diphthong oi, help you to know how it's pronounced, how it's spelled, how to say words that have the diphthong oi, what it even means, the word diphthong, what accent error patterns to watch out for, and then how to integrate words with this sound easily and correctly and fluently into your everyday speech in English. So oi is a vowel sound, and in English we have two kinds of vowel sounds. One is what's called a monophthong. It's just a single sound. All languages have different types of vowel sounds, and when we're talking about a diphthong, some languages don't have as many. English has lots of them. What we're talking about is that to make this sound, I need to glide between two positions for the tongue. So some sounds that don't have a change, don't have a glide, like for example the E sound, most languages have an E. And to make the E, my tongue is up high, it's close to my front teeth, my mouth is not very open, it's a tense sound. E, I just have that one position, I hold it and continue it, and that's how I make that sound. So in words like green or me, my tongue doesn't have to move at all on the vowel sound. But some of our other sounds like O or A or oi, the sound we're going to look at today, my tongue starts in one place and finishes in another place. I often talk about this when it comes to the diphthong O in English. Many languages will have an O sound that's one sound. In English, ours glides O from a rounded O to a more closed sound. So when I say the word, for example, no in English, I have to close my mouth, relax my tongue a little bit, relax the rounding. No. If you just use the regular one sound O, no, no, which you might have in your language, it'll sound foreign to a native listener, and it may even sound like something's wrong. If you say no, really short like that, an American listener might think, oh, they're mad at me or something like that. So it does matter, even though it's a similar sound. It's helpful to be aware of this gliding diphthong. So when it comes to the oi sound, you'll see it in the dictionary written with these two symbols. So this is the symbol for the ah, caught-law vowel. This is the symbol for the I, pink pig vowel. But the oi doesn't really have an ah plus an I. If I said ah, ba, you can hear that doesn't really sound like oi. I often think of it kind of as the O sound and the E sound, oi, but it's also not oi, right? It's its own sound, oi, that happens when I move my tongue between these two positions. So let's develop those positions to help you really get that sound. So the ah sound, you can see here in the back vowels, we have our O, ah, and ah. These sounds are rounded, and this sound is not rounded. So the oi starts with about the same amount of opening as we have for ah. You can hear how O, or see how O, ah, we get more and more open with the jaw as we say those. The tongue is lower in the mouth. I don't have to have a huge opening change, but what you want to feel is that for oi, you start with the mouth fairly round and fairly open. And then you close the mouth, the tongue lifts up, the jaw closes, the rounding of the lips goes away, and the tongue relaxes. Oi, oi. So in the finishing position, I'm kind of similar to how I would be for the I sound, not all the way closed, no rounding of the lips, and relaxed. Once you can say oi, oi, do try putting it in some words. Now, you may find it's hard to say that sound by itself, and it's easier to start by practicing with words. Listen and imitate to the sound, see if you can really match it. The errors that you may have when you're trying to say this sound is if your language doesn't have this sound, you may just be doing, for example, only the first part, ah. So you might be trying to say choice, and it sounds more like chos. Or you may also use more of an O sound like chos, or an ah sound like chas. So making sure that you get that gliding oi is really going to be what you need for this sound. Let's talk about how it's spelled and some words it's in, and then I'll give you a few more tips for correcting any accent error patterns you may have on this sound. The most typical spelling for oi is the letters O-Y or O-I. Almost always these two spellings are what we use for oi. It's fairly consistent that way, so it's not as tricky as some of the other sounds in terms of recognizing where it is. The first strategy I'll suggest is start with words that just end with the oi, like boy, soy, toy, etc. These sounds are easier to do because you have time. There's no other consonant you need to go to. So when I say boy, boy, I can really hold that vowel sound longer. It gives me time to make that movement and that gliding. That's what I'm going to recommend. Then, once I can say that, I can begin to put it in between consonant sounds. Like in annoying, I have to do the oi, then I go to a gliding ying, oying. So this Y letter, we do have the oi sound and we have a y sound, annoying, annoying. That's because of the vowel to vowel linking going between oi and I need a bit of a glide between those sounds. Or employee, employee, again, I'm going to have that glide. I do have videos for these specific words, so you can get a little more help for the details of words like annoying, employee, etc. in our videos for those specific words. Generally working on the oi, a strategy for a word like these would be to say it without the part that follows the oi. So first just practice saying noi, annoy, annoying. Again, if you start with just the oi, noi, boy, etc., you have time to get that vowel correct. Then just try to keep the vowel the same. Noi, annoying. You may have to slow down to make sure that you get that oi vowel in there. Oi is also very commonly spelled with oi, like in voice, moist, choice, or spoiling. The same strategy is going to help you here. You may find that these types of words where the oi is in between consonants are where these error patterns want to happen the most. So just try leaving that end part of the sound of the word off first. So we would say, for example, voy and then voice, or choi and then choice. And if you have to do choice and drag out the vowel a little bit to get that oi sound in there, that will really help you later on. Spoiling, for example. So I would just do spoy, spoiling. Even though there's no word spoy, if I practice that with ending with the oi, that's really going to help me when it comes to saying these words correctly. Once you've mastered this sound and these in words, do go ahead and go through the process of practicing them in some phrases, because you'll find that the error pattern will come back. Our mouth, we rely on motor habits for the mouth, and we may not always be able to hear and focus on where this vowel is. So to be able to use it correctly in everyday speech, it's very helpful to work through gradual steps of change. So I might say, for example, just oi, boy, that boy, I see a boy, the boys' room, several boys. I might also try, for example, choice. I made an important choice. You have two choices, etc. Trying to just use everyday phrases, how you would actually use these words, will help you to generalize this skill on this diphthong. You can see the other sounds of English in our Sounds of English course in the other lessons. Use the word list and phrases below to practice with this oi sound. And this is a fairly comprehensive look at this particular diphthong. We do have other diphthongs in English as well, and you'll see those separate lessons for the other diphthongs as you proceed through the vowel sections of the course. I'm Christine Dunbar from SpeechModification.com. Remember, if you want to sound like a native speaker, you can do it. SpeechModification.com. Thanks, everyone.